Lane said yesterday that he did kind of address a little bit just kind of what the bigger picture is now after Saturday, which I know is kind of something he doesn't like to do. But what was that message to y'all?
Man, just moving on to the next week and just taking it to the chin. You know, it really hurt us deeply with that loss. But the only thing we could do is rebuild and take advantage of our next opportunity, which is this week in Columbia, South Carolina.
How frustrating have the penalties been these last few weeks, and I guess how do you change that this far into the season?
I mean, it's pretty frustrating. I mean, penalties for anybody will be frustrating. You know, it's you giving up free yards, and so I feel like we've been doing a great job of just dialing into our keys and things like that this week, and just trying to minimize the penalties with better practice habits and things of that nature. So I feel pretty confident going into Saturday.
What do you think of South Carolina's offense so far?
They're a pretty good team. They got a real good quarterback in Stella. Rocket Saunders, I played with Rocket for 3 years. That's my guy. Pretty good dude. Runs hard, runs behind his pads, very elusive. Also, they got another running back, Juju McDowell. I know him from high school. Played high school ball with him. He's pretty fast, pretty elusive as well. So I feel like we just got to go out there. We just got to play hard, play fast, and just hit them first.
And you've been in the SEC for a while and obviously played in road atmospheres. Just what kind of fires you up about going into a hostile environment like that's going to be this weekend?
It's just something about when you have everybody against you in an environment, man. It just fires you up more, well, in my opinion, just fires us up more as a defense. And I feel like we're going to take that to advantage. We try to cancel out the noise from the crowd and just dial into what we have going on the field play by play.
Have you played there before? I know a lot's made of the environment in that stadium.
I haven't. I played South Carolina before at my previous institution, but I have never played in Columbia. I've been to Columbia on visits way back in high school, like way back freshman year of high school.
What's the mentality like inside of the locker room after that loss to Kentucky, and how are you guys planning to bounce back this week?
You could tell that those guys were pretty hurt. You could just see it on each and every individual face, whether it was coaches or players. You could just tell it really hit them deep. And, man, we as a defense, we came together, and offense as well. Offensive guys were here too. We just came together. We just watched the film, and we just really just corrected and really just had a get real moment with each other. Just sit back and just look at the film and look at things that we could have corrected from Saturday, so we won't have that situation again.
And what does this South Carolina offense bring to the table?
Like I said, man, they're very explosive. They capitalize off of big plays. They got a quarterback that can run. They got 2 running backs that are pretty good that can run. They have tight ends as well, who's pretty nice. So I feel like as long as we contain those players, we'll do a pretty good job this Saturday.
Preparing for 2 quarterbacks, is it way harder than preparing for 1? Just a little harder? What's that process look like?
Man, it's really not that hard once you just dive into the concepts of things. If you just go out there and let your rules apply, man, I feel like we'll be pretty good.
And I guess maybe something that got way lost in the shuffle last week, but the crowd was a record crowd at Vaught, and everyone stayed all 4 quarters, just with it being so close. Is that something that you noticed or felt, or, you got bigger fish to fry?
Definitely. I definitely felt the energy from the crowd out there, and as you can see, it fired us up sometimes out there on plays. I was out there, I was just waving my hands up, getting the crowd fired up to get us fired up out there, bring the energy and things like that. So, man, with that crowd being out there and just sticking with us through thick and thin, it means a lot. It shows how much support that they have for this program. And so, like I said, we just got to go back and get back to our standards, and we got to make them proud, man.
He left South Carolina's last game with an injury, but you brought up Rocket. Have you thought what it's going to be like tackling him?
Yeah, man, he's a bigger guy. He's a bigger body. So, I mean, man, you just got to come with your pads, man. Come with your legs.
TJ didn't play the other week, obviously, and you got the start. I was just wondering if you got the helmet communication that week and maybe even this past weekend.
Yeah, I have, and I was pretty comfortable out there with it. Coach Golden did a great job of putting me in scenarios throughout the week in practice with the microphone, whether it was lots of noise, whether we was having mic errors, just throwing different situations at me so I felt comfortable with the mic, as well as getting the communication from him and relaying it to the defense, relaying it to the defensive line and things like that. He put me in a very comfortable situation that helped me feel confident Saturday.
And just to clarify, was that against Georgia Southern or Kentucky or both?
That was against Georgia Southern. That was against Southern.
So TJ had the mic on in Kentucky?
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
What mentality you have to have as a linebacker when you're going into a game where you know that they're going to try to run the ball down your throat?
Man, you really just got to have that killer mentality. Like, you just got to have that killer instinct in you. That was just something that was instilled in me since I was young. My dad was a Navy vet, so everything, was kind of set on discipline and, things like that. But the one thing that he always preached to me is that goes a long way is your mentality. If you go out there, man, and you feel like you're the best person out there, you just the baddest human being out there. Sometimes it's gonna bring up your energy. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna put on a show. That's what you want. That helps build confidence in yourself, build confidence with your teammates, but your coaches as well, most importantly, because they can trust you to go out there, play at a high level, play full speed, but also make those big impact plays in order to set up the offense for good positions going into the future of that game. So that's just one major characteristic that I feel like. But as well as you got to have a great leadership. So what I mean by that is, people lead in different ways. Some people talk, some people lead by actions. Me personally, I prefer to sit myself in the middle. There's times that I'm out there talking with the guys, like, and then sometimes the guys come to me like, man, we got to pick this thing up. We got to keep it moving. And that's good. That's how you know that everybody's on the same page. There's nothing wrong with that. Leaders can be led as well. But at the same time, once you got everybody on the same page and everybody coming with those same characteristics and goals, that don't do nothing but bring the defense closer together and bring more success in the future.
I guess, would you ever want to coach one day? That sounded like something a coach would say.
I never really thought about coaching. My dad was my coach my whole life, so I never really, thought about coaching. He tried to talk me into it one time. He was asking me if football didn't work, did I want to coach? Nah, man, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I never really looked at coaching. I never really looked into it. I love football, but coaching is just not something that I really just looked into. Unless I was a strength coach. I love lifting weights. Thank y'all.